Now then, people, wagwan, and welcome back to the Just Joe football show. I hope you are all doing well. It's time for your press conference reaction. I hope you're enjoying the sun. Apparently, it's going to be raining next week. I wanted to go to Whitby a lot, but yeah, it is what it is. I hope you're all doing well. Smash me a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and of course, hit that notification bell. Oh, yoy. Oh, yoy. I love it. I can't lie. Hope you're all doing well. We'll go through the press conference. Bad news, really. Bad news. Pascal Struijk, he's out for the season now. That's confirmed. But for me, what was more worrying was Dan James. Dan James won't be fit for this weekend. And they also said it's going to be like a race against time for Easter weekend. So that's a little bit of a worry. But Dan James might be missing Good Friday, Easter Monday. But like El says in the comments, Nonto's time. Nonto, Ramazani, Schmidt, it's their time now. Now, you're going to need to be used. You come to the fore. And they have, a lot of seeing the Nonto that we've saw over the last few weeks. I'm calm about it. But James is a massive option for us. We can't get away from that fact. We've noticed that. Even when sometimes it doesn't come off, and we do, but he's still an option. He's still an outball. It's still something for the opposition to have to think about, knowing that Dan James is on the shoulder of the fullback. And it affects the way that they can build up attacks, the way that they defend. They have to probably play deeper so even just having him on the pitch is a nuisance for the opposition. So if he's not fit, it's a bit of a worry. And it weren't just a major doubt for this weekend. He said it was a race against time to see if we can get him fit for Easter weekend. We'll go through it all in just a sec. Quite a busy day today. We've obviously got this. I'll do a preview after this, but I won't put it out till like 6-ish. And then tonight, Burnley play Norwich as well. So, make sure you join me for the watch along for that tonight. Burnley versus Norwich. And then obviously early start tomorrow at 11:30 because Leeds play Preston in the early kickoff. And Sheffield United coincidentally kick off at the same time. So we'll know at full time where the land lies for another week. For another week. Well, not even a week because it's Friday, innit? But yeah. Anyway, let's have a look at some of your comments and then we'll get into the presser comments. Big up to Manchester who's blue. Big up to Hannah. She says, loving the new tattoo. Thank you. Hi, John, everyone. Big up Alfie. Big up Danny Talks Sport. Steve Underwood. Pete. All right, Joe, mate. Smash the like. Legend. L is in the building. Knox are taking the toll. Preston will give us a couple more. Yeah, we're having a few, aren't we? Come on, Joe, lad. We're ready. I know. Apologies. I just had to go get a drink, to be honest, mate. Mez back in goal, definitely not. Let's go, Joe. Exactly. Bet you were loving the Bamford property. It's good. It's good that he's. Come on, mate. I know you're not his biggest fan, Damar, but it's not his fault that we've not moved on from him. But you've got to have been impressed with his substitute appearances over the last few games. You have to. Big up Donna. I haven't seen you for a while. Big fan. She's funny. Big love. Not henna, mate. No, it's tattoo. It's my new tattoo, Damar. I got it done yesterday. It hurt like hell. Can't lie to you. It hurts. I'll be in Whitby on 5th of May. Come then. Struijk is getting very... Yeah, he is, isn't he? Definitely. Great. DJ will be a big miss. We have to keep the faith. Yeah, we're back. It's back in our hands now. That's the most important thing. And Fark alluded to that as well about how it's different to last season. We were always chasing last season. This time it's well and truly in our hands. We've been the standard bearer the majority of the season, so we're back in front where we need to be. Big up to Dave. Willie's good up front. Nah. Not better than what we've got, though. Hi, Joe. Need to get this done. We do. Dan James, player of the season. I will be gutted if he has to miss much of the running. Yeah, 4 wins, it's done. 3 home games, it's done, I reckon, me. Players falling apart. Limbs. Yo, Andrew, you scored. Did you? I didn't. You put a comment on my last video saying plastic fan with shit tattoo or something. I thought we were cool. What's all that about? I nearly blocked you, to be honest, mate. It's a bit personal. Can you please give a shout out to Lee, who is a big fan of Leeds United? Yeah, big up, Lee. Good afternoon, Joe. Looking good. Let's keep going. Yeah, exactly. Bam Bam to help cruisers to the title 100%. Happy enough with Bamford return. Of course I remember the vape guy. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Right, okay, let's get stuck into the comments then. So, first of all, on team news, he says, we obviously have injured players with Strout. Today, I can confirm his season is over. He's got a fracture in his foot. Doesn't need surgery, though, but will be out for 10 weeks. We need to improve on that left centre-back position going into the Premier League. Love Strout. I even like Ampadu there, but when I put that forward the other day on the final word, and the lads, sort of shot it down, and right to do so, saying, look, Ampadu can't be playing there in the Premier League. The fact that Strout gets as injured as he does, I'd like us to get a centre-back that has the passing range of an Ampadu. Do you know what I mean? But is a better centre-back, if that makes sense, because Strout, like's been said, and like's coming to the fore, it is all very much into the channel, out to the left back, whereas when Ampadu's there, bang, bang. Even when Calvin used to drop in them when we were in the Premier League before, bang, bang. And we don't get that from Strout. We just don't. That ball over the top. So for me, yeah, we definitely need a left centre-back. I'm happy with Joe Road on there. I would have been happy with Strout. I just think with the injuries now, which is what, 2-3 a season minimum? 2-3 a season minimum. Yeah, Strout gets goals. Yes, he does from set pieces, but you would hope in the Premier League we would also get centre backs that can do that as well. So we know we need to improve anyway. Yeah, Liam, Dan James was mentioned. I'll go through it now. Actually, it's the next one. James come out with a hamstring injury, ruled out for the weekend, and he also said it's a tight race for the Easter weekend, which isn't great news. Yeah, Dan James is a doubtful. Is which is a major blow. As inconsistent as he's been the last couple of weeks, he came back to his best, didn't he? Against Middlesbrough. He was a constant thorn in the Middlesbrough side. So he's out with the hamstring injury. He was walking gingerly anyway, so he's not going to play at the weekend, which I don't think any of us expected him to. But then I think the big thing is he said it's also a tight race for the Easter weekend, which isn't great. But if you can get him for Easter Monday, that's okay, innit? Maybe he misses the Good Friday game, but then he's fit Easter Monday. But this is where now is the time for a Nonto, for a Ramazani, for a Schmidt to stand up. Hannah said if he wasn't already spoken for, I'd propose to Cossie. He's a legend. I'm going to have to just take a little screenshot of that and just put it in our... I don't think he is spoken for, Hannah. Might have to just pop it in our little group chat here, look. And I'll send him that. There you go. Everyone loves him, don't they? I'll just send him there. He takes that chance. He's great, though. I think, to be honest, that show needs more like people watching it than it gets, if you know what I mean. It's underrated, if I do say so myself. Yeah, but so thank you for people that watch that. Could be Thomas. I doubt it, though. I don't think he'll start. But yeah, what I will say, it gives him more opportunity off the bench as well, doesn't it? If Solomon's getting subbed, it's probably going to be for Ramazani because Schmidt might want to come. Do you know what I mean? So I think there's more opportunity that we will see Ramazani now, with James being doubtful. So he has to stand up now and be countered. Because it's all good. Everyone's saying Ramazani deserves more minutes. Okay, I can agree with that. I do agree with that. But when he's got the minutes, apart from when he was starting at the start of the season, I haven't forgot that. In recent times, he's not used that time. Like Bamford has. Like Nonto did. And like we're seeing from Schmidt now. So all the chat about it, he has to back that up. And he has to say, for these fans that are saying he's got to play, then he has to. Then he has to now show. Dean, no, he's not. No, he's not. I don't think anyone in our team is as fast as Dan James. That's crazy talk, mate. In a 100-meter dash, Dan James beats everyone in this side. 100%. Willie might be quick, but he's not Dan James quick. Come on, man, you watch us. "100 yards, Dan James, like shit off a stick, man." There's no way that Nonto keeps up with Dan James. Definitely not. 100%, yeah. But this is the point, isn't it? It's who's now ready to stand up. Like if Nonto comes on, and I think he will be all right, but if he doesn't have I'm not saying that Nonto isn't a better footballer. No, nobody said that. That wasn't even in the conversation, Yorkshireman. So I like how you took that, spun it, and it gives something else. But this is what you do. But yes, it's an opportunity now. Like if Nonto's not on his game, then they're Ramazani, then Schmidt. Do you know what I mean? So we move. It's a loss though. Dan James is a big loss, but yeah. On the rest of the team news, he said everyone else is fit, ready, raring to go. Sam Chambers though has an issue, illness. He was then asked about Bamford, obviously about his substitute appearances. That was from Tim Thornton of the Sky. He said, look, proper amount of minutes is definitely possible for him because Tim Thornton asked if he was ready to start yet. I think if he was fit enough, I think we'd all be okay with him starting. But the way that Farke's managing him, I think it's perfect. So, like Farke said, look, we have to be careful in managing his minutes. We need him for the upcoming 5 games during this season. We will see, but he's in good spirits and he's delivered good performances. No point rushing him, is there? We don't need to. There's no point rushing him. I think then Catherine Hanna asked some more questions about Bamford a little bit later on. And he said, Patrick is always a confident player and highly motivated and not scared to be in the spotlight. It's one thing you can say for Pat. I know he's missed some gilt-edged chances, but the mentality of him, okay, he fluffs his lines. But what I'm saying, mentality to continue to pull on the white shirt, continue to drown out the noise. Remember, people waited outside this guy's house. I don't know about you, but if someone waited outside my house, I'd say, I'm off. I don't need this shit. You don't need that. You don't know, do you? You do not need that for a young family. So the fact that he still continues to pull on this white shirt, considering all the criticisms he's had, then he's up there in terms of mentality, in terms of mental fortitude. Now, of course, there's different aspects, like obviously he fluffs his lines, doesn't he? But like Farke says, he's a player you want to have in your squad, especially for such a crunch time period. We have a pretty young squad. Each experienced player always helps. He's been out with several injuries. He plays with such enthusiasm to be back. It's definitely a good sign. You need players to impact the game when they come on, which is what we're doing. To be honest, Paul, I've seen that. I know Joe's ran with it, but obviously I think Andrea's, it's in Italy, the Firpo betting scandal stuff, which Joe's then reported on. Firpo involved with McKennie with some betting stuff. Again, it's funny because none of the UK-based journalists have really picked up on it. So big up to Joe and big up to Andrea for finding that. But yeah, more will be revealed, I guess. Firpo potentially in a betting scandal, which might be why there's been no contract. Imagine it's for yellow cards. Imagine it's for getting yellow cards. We all know Firpo was a walking yellow card for a period of time. Interesting. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see though. But I think Joe's done a little bit of a video on it, so you can check that out. But it's too highbrow for me. That I read some of the article that Andrea had translated from Italian, and it was like, whoa, it's a fair bit. It's more Joe's content than mine. I don't know about that, but he has spoken. Hold that thought, DJ Yorkie. We'll get there. I believe it is John, isn't it? Oh, okay. Okay, even still. Okay, so exactly. That's what I mean. I don't know enough about it. That's why I haven't reported on it. Joe's reported on it. Good stuff. Happy days. So I can only imagine Weston McKennie's the one that's got him in on it, though, because a lot of it's Italy. No disrespect to any Italians watching, but my God, they love a scandal in football, do Italy, don't they? Do you know what I mean? Really sunny. Hilarious. Do you know someone sent me a clip earlier on of the secret weapon? The secret weapon. And there were 3 strikers on there. And I seen it and I thought, he's going to say Joseph, innit? I don't actually know what the secret weapon was, but was it Joseph? God. Honestly. Let sleeping dogs lie, man. Let sleeping dogs lie. Anyway, we move. Right, so Patrick Bamford, always a confident player. Look, I've seen more from Patrick Bamford in these last 2 appearances than... Oh, you see, you've done me. You've done me there. You've done me. You've done me there. Okay, so he said Paddy. Well, there you go. I can agree with him then. I can agree with him there. But it's not time for Pat because he's not fit enough. He's not fit enough. I would love him to, by the way, but he's not fit enough. And I think just because what we do run the risk of doing, let's say we do start Pat. Let's say we start Pat and he breaks down. Then we're up shit creek, aren't we? So I think the way the manager's managing him, he's perfect at the minute. He's perfect. So just keep it as it is. And look, in terms of Pirro, yes, he's had a few games where he hasn't scored. I think it's 7 games now. Yeah. Yes, Michael, Player FC, 100%. Pirro now could go on a run. I don't think Pirro's still all right. Pirro is still all right. If Paddy was 100%, I'd start Paddy over Pirro. But the fact that he's not, use Pirro, then bring on Pat when you need to. And if Aronson's having a stinker, then you just drop Pirro in the 10, and vice versa. If Pirro's having a stinker, you bring Paddy up top. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, if Pat was fit, I would start him. But no, he's not. But the fact that he's chomping at the bit, he probably wants to start all these things. It's a nice problem to have, Vic. Yeah, definitely so. I know. Yes, Luke B. Luke B knows the king. Come on. It's YouTube, innit? I think the thing is, Yorkshireman, right? He's not been great, but I don't think he's been like shank. I know it looks at times like we carry passengers, but just some games don't suit him. But I'd rather have him than Joseph running around like a headless chicken. And I know that if the ball does drop to Pirro, it's probably going to end up back at net. And while you've got Aronson there, it's not too bad. I thought, do you know what? I know this sounds daft because I could stand on a pitch, but I just think structurally against Middlesbrough, he did well. He was in the right places. Yeah. I mean, Barry, that's not true, bro. It's not true. But it is what it is. We move. Anyway, running. Nerves for the running. It's crunch time period of the season. But for Leeds, it is always crunch time because of the pressure around the club. We are used to it. You have to keep your nerves and stay mentally strong if you want to represent this football club. And this is true because the white shirt is heavy. And he spoke about how last season we were always chasing. Even from the start, we were always chasing. And then when we finally caught, it just went shit. This time we've been the standard bearer. And it's now back in our hands as well, you know? All the time, Vic, it's just not. It's very... Whereas I'm just clear, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, we move. Anyway, why it doesn't have to be about that. Footballing opinions. Here's what it is. We move. So last time we was always chasing. Now we're the standard bearer. It's back in our hands. If we lose it from here on in, then boom, we're done, aren't we? But we won't. You know, speaking about patience, and I guess the manager has shown patience. Some content creators have shown patience. Others have wanted to throw it in the bin, sack the manager, etc. So he says patience is always an important skill, but that doesn't mean you fall asleep. We are creating so many chances, creating so many goals. This will always be in our DNA. But yes, to stay patient if necessary. Can't guarantee all the fans are patient. This is Leeds United. It is an emotional club. This won't change. Everyone is desperate. We are successful on the pitch. We must keep our nerves. Yes, we must. Preston, a team that has a little bit less pressure. Because I think Catherine Hanna mentioned how it could be deemed similar to Swansea, not much to play for. You know, you're worried about that. But Farker said, look, there is always something to play for when you represent this football club. And I expect they will try their best. I expect they will play with less players. And I expect they will come with a very difficult game plan. We have to be on it. We cannot underestimate them. It makes them even more dangerous and makes them play with freedom, the fact that they don't have anything to play for. Some would say they're on the beach. Others, like Farker, will toe the right line and say, actually, it might make them play more free because, you know, they're more dangerous. Do you know what I mean? Preston, I'm worried about the game. I do think we'll win. Done a little bit of research, obviously, ahead of my preview. They've won 3 games on the road out of 20, you know. 3. We've got 1 win in 10 games. Got to win this. I don't think it'll be easy, but we've got to win that. I think it actually might just be as you were this weekend. You could see all teams winning. Farker has to speak about complacency. And he said it's professional football. You always have something to play for, every team. I always speak about to play against a team that's desperately fighting against relegation can be difficult. They do everything to survive, but a team who has a bit less pressure, a bit more freedom, they can deliver better performances. Preston is a dangerous side because of this. He says, got an experienced, successful coach and manager at this level in Paul Heckingbottom. Whitball, we outball. They are competitive and difficult to play against them. You always have to be on it. We won't underestimate them. They don't have big pressure to win this game to achieve a special position, but this makes them a little more dangerous. They can enjoy themselves more. He was then asked about the emotion and the players, because it again, this is my management, right? Which I know a lot of people disagree with, but I believe one of Farker's strongest points. And he says the most important thing is to treat them like human beings. They can't always be at their best, but we don't let the demands drop, not to overdo things or be extraordinary at this stage of the season. Important they come with a smile every day and enjoy what they're doing. Outside world puts so much pressure on these young human beings. It's important to create an atmosphere where the players feel valued, trusted and backed, where they can be themselves. If you play anxious football, you can't be at your best. Sometimes you can't take nerves away, but we always want to play brave. I actually think as a group, Daniel Farker's done a fantastic job. You know, he spoke about Ramazani, and I know there's people that think you'd think he'd fucking been hung, drawn, and quartered, not being allowed to eat with the group. Had to walk into training, was only allowed to play with one boot on. The way that some people have gone on now, this lad's been fucking treated. It's insane. But he spoke about Ramazani, about him always celebrating with the team, and that shows, you know, it fosters a good attitude. He spoke about Ramazani coming to him, and being very self-critical himself, So, yeah. I actually think man management, it's on the ball. Farker was asked about referees at the PGMOL. 100% bigger. Mad, innit, Dawn? Mad. Farker on referees. So you had a telephone call with Kevin Friend. who is the select Group 2 referee manager at PGMOL. So he probably deals with the EFL refs, I guess, because Howard Webb's the top dog in the Premier. And he said that it was a good call. Things are positive. He said it would lack a bit of class if I speak about it in public. Both of us hope for good performance at the weekend. I would imagine that referee never does a Leeds game again. Not the referee, the liner. And I think, to be honest, Farke managed. Look, a lot of managers, and Farke could have easily done, and we could have forgiven him for coming out and absolutely berating him, saying it's a joke, and he probably would have got a ban. The fact that he dealt with it the way he did, obviously Kevin Friends phoned them, they've had an amicable conversation, and it's probably meant that that referee will not do another Leeds game this season. And maybe he might get demoted, which, again, I think is fair enough. 3 times. 3 times. Yeah. Anyway, then on Ramazani, he was asked about Ramazani because Baron Cross put to him about the... has he actually been demoted, the referee? Yeah, great. Yeah, he's full of class, man. He is full of class. Genuinely. I know people don't want to hear it, but for Leeds United, it's almost like we need someone like him who is calm, who doesn't shout from the rooftops, you know? Yeah, Lino, yeah. He is pretty cool, calm, collected. I thought the outrage after he said 100% would get promoted was mental. How dare he? How dare he? It's like, what? You know? And he's probably going to be proven right. We'll never get over Bielsa old school tunes, and nor should we. Yeah, Danny James is definitely out. He's a big doubt for Easter weekend as well next Friday, mate. So yeah, 100%. Yes. 100%. So Farke on Ramazani, Berren had put to him about there being a lot of talk, and obviously the hug and the wait at the end of the game. He said there were lots of talk about Laji Ramazani, and that's why we did it. You know, he says he knows he has a manager who fully trusts him and believes in him. We are so tight together. We have needed Laji. We wouldn't be in this position without his goals and assists, and we will need him for the running. I almost think that he might get released at some point, you know, after this little layoff, if you like. New desk is getting put up on Saturday after work, Danny, because I haven't had time, and then my mate's coming to help me because it's quite big. So I'm going to get it done after Saturday's game. So I've still got my old one at the minute, but it's downstairs just ready to be like unpacked and ready. So then he was asked about Schmidt as well. He said, look, I'm not surprised. We knew before that he can play in different positions because they were, you know, asking about what positions he plays in, etc. And he said, look, he's been left and right back, but until about 22 or 23, he played as a winger. So we knew he was capable to do this. For this game, it was a good solution to have him on the bench because of the opponent's fullback. He's doing so much in offence. And that was Samuel Lilling Jr. So he says, your own winger is asked a lot defensively. And that's what I liked about Isaac Schmidt. And this is what we were talking about, like people who wanted Ramazani to come on. I like Ramazani, but defensively, it wouldn't be a patch on what Isaac can do for us. So that's obviously why he brought him on in that game. And if we're being honest, it was the right decision. I don't think Farke missed a beat against Middlesbrough, but when we actually watched that game, Isaac was class when he came on. He said, what I liked about Isaac is he has lots of competition. Junior Firpo's been playing outstanding. Bogle the same. It's normally a joke. A player like Sam Byram has such a good point average, is not involved in the last games. What I like about him, he came at a proper age, 25, but has not played English football or top European leagues before. Different physically and different intensity. Again, takes time. Not that the fans at the start of the season would affording him that time. And he says in the beginning, he needed to adapt, but the more he impressed in training and the more he got involved in games. But it's not a gift to be just given minutes. And he said, I liked his attitude. Although not playing much, he's worked hard in training, getting rewards in more minutes. And he did say when he was away on international duty that the football club had already told him, you have a future here. You have a future here. And then he was asked about leaders to finish up on. And he says the days are gone when you just have, one leader. He says, of course, Ethan is our captain. But, for example, James always leads by example. He's not there with a speech. He doesn't rouse the dressing room. But on the pitch, he really leads by example. And we can see that, can't we? Dan James puts his body on the line for this shirt. He says, I've got more mature players, obviously, but don't want to highlight 3 or 4 players. Pascal will be around with leadership skills. I do think we're still lacking leaders, regardless of what the manager says, because ultimately, at the start of Daniel Farke's tenure, our leadership group, listen to this, our leadership group was Ethan Ampadu, Pascal Strout, and Melier. These 2, spooky. The balloons agree. So, yeah, we do need some leaders in there. I can't lie to you. Big up to Mally, just become a member again. Welcome back, my man. Helen, who's been a member for 37 months now, says, I've just been out for fish and chip lunch. What have I missed? Big call out, Strout's out for the season. Dan James is going to be a doubt for Easter weekend. And that's about it. Oh, YEP are now finally reporting that Firpo is under investigation by Italian authorities for online betting activity. It's not suggested Firpo placed bets on football matches. Weston McKennie also implicated. Details here. There you go. Well, it's a madness. Catch up. All these daft YouTubers, they say, don't they? Catch up, YEP. Catch up. All these daft YouTubers. Oh, I don't know about them YouTubers, they say. Well, they're on the money there, aren't they? They're on the money. Yeah. Oh, it's my new mandala tattoo. I hope you like it. Well, yeah, look, Amps is a leader, yeah. But he was part of the leadership group, right? He was. It is mad, isn't it? To think that it is, but them's the facts. Happy 40th birthday, El Maggio. El Maggio. With that in mind as well, actually, there is actually football prizes. Big up to football prizes. I know he isn't Demola, but obviously he's on the leadership group. So football prizes are actually running a competition at the minute, folks. Now, what you can do is send in some memorabilia that you would like to have signed by Pablo Hernandez. It's a send-in service. So basically, you can get a signature and dedicated message. Okay, of course, you have to pay for this at £140. So it's a private signing, so you could send in a dedicated message, send in your shirt, we'll take it to the private signing, your signed shirt is returned directly back to you, yeah? So you can choose to do that, or you can just go for a signature only for £50. Send in your shirt, they're going over to Spain. If you want to get involved, then please do. Football prizes, link is in the description, as is always the case. Contact me today to let us know that they are running that service. So if you would like to get involved, then check that out with football prizes. Legends of the game. If you haven't already as well, please do smash a like on this video. As I said, I'm going to pre-record my preview now, which, I don't know, I'm just looking at the timing, because Burnley-Norwich, that's tonight, isn't it? 8 o'clock kickoff, Friday night football and all that jazz. Let's have a look what time. What works good on a Friday? 6 o'clock, yeah. I'll put my preview out for 6 o'clock. And yeah, I'm going to chill for the rest of the evening, or afternoon, sorry. And I'll see you back here at, well, I hope you'd be here at 7:30 for Burnley versus Norwich. There you go. My head fell off there for a second. Sorry about that. So come on, the Canaries tonight. Come on, Josh Sargent. Do it for Daniel. Do it for Daniel. Someone wanted a close up of the that. That's it, man. Hope you like it. Anyway, I'm going to go now, finish my preview, and then see you tonight. All right. Peace out. Love you all. Bye-bye.